In a small, secluded village in India, there lived a family with 6 daughters. Among them was the youngest, Asha, who was deemed the ugliest by her family. Her parents and sisters, all blessed with beauty, viewed her as a burden, a blemish on their otherwise perfect image. As her elder sisters married off one by one, Asha was left behind, shunned by her own blood. Her parents' annoyance turned to cruelty. They could not bear the sight of her, ashamed to admit that she was their daughter. The other sisters joined in the torment, mocking her, bullying her, treating her as less than human. Eventually, her parents decided to hide their mistake. They locked Asha in a dark, damp basement where not a single ray of light penetrated. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months. Asha was given food only once a month, barely enough to survive. The loneliness and darkness began to gnaw at her sanity. She was left to rot, forgotten by the world above, her cries for help echoing in the empty, unfeeling space. But Asha was not entirely alone. In the suffocating darkness, she found a companion, her own madness. She began to hear voices, whispers that told her she was not worthless, that she would be avenged. Despair consumed her, driving her to lash out against herself. She beat her head against the cold stone walls until her forehead bled. With her own blood, she scrawled desperate messages on the walls and floor. I am human too. God will avenge me, I will not forgive you. A year passed in this hellish torment, and Asha's mind, once filled with sorrow, was now aflame with a terrible resolve. One night in the silence of the basement, she ended her suffering. The next morning, her lifeless body was found hanging from a rafter. Her lips were twisted in a final, haunting smile. But her death was only the beginning. Her father was found dead in the basement, his body twisted in terror. Her mother hanged herself, just as Asha had. One of her sisters fell gravely ill, haunted by visions of Asha's bloodied figure, until she too died in fear. The house was abandoned, cursed by Asha's spirit. The villagers spoke of her revenge, warning that her vengeful ghost still lingered, ready to punish anyone who would dare to forget her existence. The once proud family was reduced to a dark legend, a tale of beauty turned to horror by cruelty and neglect.